Mario Cuomo, Governor Mario Cuomo, almost 30 years ago, ended a 17-year battle to add this lake and this land, about 1,200 acres, to Minnewaska State Park, and really began, it is the heart and the soul and the place where it all starts. It added up to 11,000 acres then, and now with 40 different transactions is 23,000 acres. And Governor Andrew Cuomo is following always in his father's footstep, building on his legacy with the Open Space Institute, with the increased Environmental Protection Fund. We've added 1,700 acres, Sam's Point, ice caves, witches hold their names, but they're magical places and promontories and waterfalls that are part of the DNA of this park, like Minnewaska Lake is and this particular promontory is. So now today, through Governor Cuomo's Parks 2020 plan, and with the Alliance for New York State Parks and the Open Space Institute, we're going to invest $7.3 million to make this the gateway, the entrance, the place where everybody will come with a visitor center, a warming hut, to essentially make it a better experience, let everybody know what is here, what can be, what you can do. And of the $7.3 million, OSI in private dollars is committing $3 million with also some additional state grants. The state the rest, focusing on the visitor center and the warming hut. And I don't know if Gil Butler is here. There he is, the donor of the most. It's all his contribution. He's a conservationist. He's a philanthropist, and I can tell you, Governor, we're going to get it done because he's going to be all over us to make it, to get it right and get it done. And we thank you so much, and thank you, OSI, for all that you have done. So basically, the great diversity of the geography, the great diversity of the experience, it can be overwhelming. Where do I go? Where do I start? Visitor Center will be here. It will also have a warming hut. It will interpret this unique ecology. It will tell you every program that we have to go, and in the warming hut you can gather or you can end. And you can warm yourself. It's a 4-season experience because of all of that. So we're building on the environmental legacy of Minnewaska, but the governor is building this environmental legacy in every one of our 215 parks. As you know, we're the oldest, we're the second largest, we're the most developed, and before Governor Cuomo came in, we may have been the most deteriorated as such. For 40 years, never in the capital budget, Governor Cuomo has launched New York Parks 2020 plan. It's a $900 million multi-year commitment to not only fix and refurbish and renovate, but also to transform all of our state parks and essentially to restore the environmental, the aesthetic, the recreation, the historic glory that we inherited so long ago, but also under that umbrella to modernize it, to make it more relevant to the 21st century, and also within that to make each and every park energy efficient, climate resilient, and also operationally sustainable. So thank you. Thank you for that. And we're just beginning, at Minnewaska and many of these parks. And also just a quick note on the governor's Excelsior Conservation Corps that is being launched in January. 50 AmeriCorps, they're going to be working on this plan. They're starting in January. It's 10-month service, and it's phase 1. It's about volunteerism and bringing youth into the parks to connect to the land. So not only do they build trails, warming huts, visitor center, but they build an environmental ethic. They build and they become the future conservation leaders. So it's a new chapter for parks. It's a new chapter for Minnewaska, and now it is my great honor to introduce Kim Elliman of the Open Space Institute. Wait, you can't come up. I haven't finished with you yet. So he is a great leader with all of his staff. And the Alliance, they house also the Alliance for New York State Parks. Eric Kulisade, Terrence, Bob, all of them have contributed mightily. And the Open Space Institute in land alone has bought 140,000 acres to add to our parks and system, open space system. And the Alliance for New York State Parks has raised $10.6 million toward this Parks Plan 2020 to build many of these new facilities in 9 different parks. So you're an awesome partner, so thank you.
You know, I've been waiting for 20 years, actually 25 years, for Rose to say you're an awesome partner. Governor, you do miracles here. So let me thank you all for coming. Governor Cuomo, Commissioner Harvey, distinguished friends, guests, and colleagues. My name is Kim Elliman, as Rose said, President and CEO of the Open Space Institute. And on behalf of the entire OSI family, its board and board of trustees, including former Parks Commissioner Carol Ash, who's sitting behind, former DEC Commissioner Joe Martens. It's not a revolving door. It sometimes just looks at it. Actually, we picked up Joe on waivers from the governor's office. So thank you for releasing him to us. It's wonderful to have Joe back with us, and he is as intrepid and stalwart advocate and effective spokesman for these issues as he always has been. So it's an honor to be here today to herald the glorious future of Minnewaska State Park Preserve. And before talking about today's matter, I would like to laud the leadership of Governor Cuomo for bringing about such a sea change, as just spoken about by Rosie and represented by, Commissioner Harvey, as the leader of New York State's most spectacular and important natural and recreational destinations. We really are building a park system for the 21st century. Just as we were a leader, as Rose said, in developing the parks in the 20th century, what Governor Cuomo is doing here is really redefining parks for across the country for the 21st century. His New York Parks 2020 initiative is the visionary capital investment for a vibrant, welcoming, and updated park system that will delight hundreds of millions of people who will visit the parks in the coming decades. Without question, Governor Cuomo is building upon an enduring and unbeatable legacy in support of our state parks. We are extraordinarily grateful to your leadership. We at OSI firmly believe and agree with the governor that by making our parks safe, inviting and engaging New Yorkers of all ages, particularly young people, we are building the next generation of stewards and naturalists. In the long run, that enhanced engagement with families and young people is truly priceless. OSI is particularly enthusiastic to be here today at Minnewaska with Governor Cuomo. As an important historic note, as Rose has already stated, it was under his father's leadership that this sky lake behind us and its spectacular surroundings were permanently preserved for public benefit. Like the Cuomo family, we're stretching a little bit here, Governor. OSI has a long history here in Minnewaska. OSI was here on the ground floor with such conservation partners as New York State, the Trust for Public Land, the Nature Conservancy, and the Friends of the Shawangunks to protect this landscape from development. Since that initial success, by way of 121 different real estate transactions, marshaling $86 million, OSI and its partners, including again the state, have worked to more than double the size of this magnificent park. And the support of the great and wonderful Lucy Waletsky. Lucy, there you are. And our partner, patron, and Minnewaska visionary, Gil Butler. In concert with other generous contributors, we've joined with the state to restore the renowned historic carriage road system. They really are wonderful. I would urge you to go around the Hamilton Point or the Castle Point trails, not on motorcycles, mind you, but they really, what they've done is create world-class amenities for this park. Today, as an extension to our commitment to this park and its growing number of visitors, OSI is proud to pledge $3 million and take on design and construction leadership to make sure the people of New York get a stunning gateway facility that will enhance the public's appreciation for this incredible park, its important natural features, and its habitats and its many recreational offerings. It's my honor and privilege to introduce Governor Andrew Cuomo, who has made an unprecedented commitment to improve and build upon the greatest park system in the U.S. and to make them accessible to people of all ages and abilities, to make them attractive not only to New Yorkers, but to people from around the globe, to make this a world-class recreational experience at Minnewaska. OSI could not have a better partner. New York State could not have a better leader. Thank you and welcoming the Governor of New York, great state of New York, Governor Andrew Cuomo.
Thank you. Thank you very much. First, to Kim Ellerman and the Open Space Institute and Gil Butler and Lucy Walitsky, who really made today possible. Let's give them a round of applause and thank them for their help. To one of the more adventurous state commissioners we have, Commissioner Rose Harvey. She'll get on a snowmobile, she'll get on a motorcycle. She will face any obstacle to advance the park. She's doing a fantastic job. Commissioner Rose Harvey, pleasure to be with you. We have our great county executive, Mike Hine, who's not exactly dressed for motorcycle riding today because he is the serious county executive and he is doing the county work. And for those of you who don't know Mike, he's one of the real stellar county executives across this state. He's a visionary, he's progressive, he's making government work. Mike Hine, pleasure to be with you. We have Joseph Martens, who is now with OSI. He was the state DEC commissioner, worked with me, worked with another Cuomo before that, Mario Cuomo. So he has done his Cuomo duty and then some. But a better example of what a great leader can do in public service you won't find than what Joe Martens did with the environment. He literally put this state at the top on environmental policy and environmental leadership. And we miss him every day, but we're glad he's still in the field. Joe Martens. And then we have our intrepid motorcycle riders led by my buddy Paul Tuttle Jr. Let's give Paul a round of applause for being out here. And we have the Blue Knights, and we have the Fire Riders, and we have some really quality riders. To be out there today, you have to be a serious motorcycle rider to be out there today. Let's give them a round of applause. Part of today is serious business. I Love New York is serious business. It's about tourism in the state of New York. It's about a major investment that the state has made that is paying fantastic dividends. One of our growing industries in quote-unquote upstate New York is the I Love New York campaign and tourism. We invested about $60 million in the I Love New York tourism campaign, which was a first. We're advertising internationally, and we've had about a 20-fold dividend on our investment. The tourism in upstate New York is way, way up. And that just pays dividends in all sorts of ways. That's hotels, that's restaurants, that's bed and breakfasts, etc. Just getting people up, getting the motion and the energy up is what it's all about. We get 50 million visitors per year to New York State, primarily to New York City, which is an international magnet. And what I Love New York is saying is New York City is great, and we love New York City, but you know what? There's a whole state around New York City. And you think New York is great just seeing one of our great cities. Wait till you see the rest of the state, because we have the best of everything in New York. And we want to get those 50 million visitors, and we want to say, make sure you go north while you're in New York City. Come see the Catskills, see the rest of the state, and you will really be impressed. And that's part of the message today. Within just a couple of hours of New York City, You have the Shawangunks, you have the Catskills, you have hiking, you have hunting, you have fishing, you have rock climbing, you have some of the most beautiful scenery that you will find anywhere on this planet. And I Love New York is about telling that story and getting that word out. The Catskills are really one of the areas in the state that have been overlooked. People don't understand what we have here in the Catskills. They really don't. I say to people, there is no reason to leave New York State to vacation or travel. You tell me what you want to see, what you want to explore, and I'll tell you where it is in this state. You can stay right here. But it's a story we have to tell. They don't know the magnificence that we have here in the Catskills. And we're going to tell them because we want them to know, and we want the growth to the economy that comes from tourism. So we're going to dedicate $5 million of I Love New York advertising just to tell the story of the Catskills and what we have in the Catskills. That's going to be part of the advertising budget that starts next year. As part of the lottery games, the lottery winnings, we're going to have a scratch-off prize on lottery tickets that are trips throughout New York State, including to the Catskills, just as another way of publicizing what we have right here in New York. And this year, we're going to have the Catskill Challenge. Now, the Catskill Challenge is going to be the second challenge. We have something called the Adirondack Challenge, which we've done for a few years because the Adirondack Challenge was started when I was actually challenged to a rafting race, and someone accused me of not being as good a whitewater rafter as I said I was. So we started a whole, because I am a competitive guy. It's very easy. You challenge me to anything, and I am there. It doesn't matter if I've ever done it before. I will take on all comers. So we had the Adirondack Challenge, and we've gone up every year. And we've had a great whitewater rafting race. We've had canoe races, kayak races, all sorts of fun activity. But it also had a serious purpose to publicize what we have in the Adirondacks, which is also fantastic. But for people who don't want to go all the way up to the Adirondacks, we have a lot of the same activities right here in the Catskills. And that's what we're going to do with the Catskill Challenge this year. County Executive Mike Hines says that he is a world-class rafter and paddler, and he thinks he and his county team can beat the state team. Well, we're going to take them on this year, and I'm going to teach that boy how to paddle. I can tell you that much. So Joe Martens likes to tell me about what kind of kayaker he is and his upper body strength that he has from years of development. I think he's gotten a little soft since he left state government, and he looks like he's getting a little slow, like he's lost half the step since he's left state government. So we're going to put him in a kayak, and we're going to see what he can do. So we're going to have some fun at the Catskill Challenge this year. Part of the I Love New York campaign is the beautiful system of state parks that we have. And it is a legacy that we inherited. It really is. It is a gift that we've inherited. This particular spot, as Kim and the commissioner mentioned, was added to the system by my father, who stood almost where we're standing today 30 years ago. They were going to develop a hotel conference center around the lake. And the environmental community conservationists said, no, this place should be preserved because it is so special and it is so beautiful. And my father added it to the state park system. He called it an environmental heirloom at that time. And he was exactly right. And he said it in a way that no one else can say it. So we wouldn't be here today without that legacy. And it's our obligation. It is our obligation to take that gift, take that legacy, and advance it for the next generation. So our children can come here 30 years from today and see what we did and say that their parents added to that legacy. And that's why we're putting over $1 billion into the rebuilding of the state parks that were abandoned for many, many years and did not have the improvements that they needed. Not just because it's the right thing to do from a preservation point of view, it's also a smart thing to do from an I Love New York tourism point of view, because it is a great, great economic asset. But beyond being an economic asset, as we are experiencing today, and we already have, and we'll be doing a little bit more, it's just good for the soul, it's good for the spirit to come out here, to see the beauty of Mother Nature, to see the beauty of this state, to experience the outdoors, just is therapeutic in so many ways. So yes, it's serious business, but there's also nothing else I would rather be doing today, period, than exactly what I'm doing, exactly where I'm doing it. So thank the Commissioner, thank the Open Space Institute, thank the motorcycle riders, and let's get back on those bikes and let's ride. Thank you very much, guys.